Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are tuning in. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really delighted to be back on Facebook Live. Um, if you've been following along with the series on the abodes of the heart, kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity, you were probably wondering where I was last week. Sorry about that. I took a week off. I went on 2 weeks ago, I went on was it 2 weeks ago? A week and a half ago, something like that. I went on a meditation retreat for 6 days, a silent retreat. It was very intensive, very, very, very deep, and a lot of things kind of moved around emotionally for me. And so I felt like I needed a week off before I jumped back on Facebook Live again. So I took a couple of sessions off, and now I'm back. And in the previous weeks, I was doing Tuesdays and Fridays, but today is Sunday, so things will change around. I'm not sure where the second session will be, perhaps on Wednesday, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. But I do want to thank you all for being here, and thank you all for the messages and things like that. That's very kind of you all, and we are really delighted to be back. And yeah, talking about joy. Wow, that's I feel very honored and lucky, blessed in a way, to be able to yeah, connect online and offer a talk on such a beautiful quality of joy. So the reason for the Facebook Live sessions, as some of you already know, is I'm building up kind of a momentum leading up to an online meditation program that I'm offering. This starts on October 1st and it runs to December 21st. It's a 12-week program. It's called Abiding in Kindness, Compassion, Joy, and Equanimity. It's a 12-week immersive online meditation program. So I'll just speak a little bit about that, and if you'd like to register, you can do so through my website, www.suchsweetthunder.org, or you could simply message me through Facebook or Instagram, or if you have my email, you can email me and let me know you want to sign up, and we'll get you registered. So the retreat is being offered in two different sections to cater to different time zones and needs, and we will meet twice a week. Section A meets on Tuesdays and Saturdays in the morning from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. So 90-minute session each session. And that's East Coast Standard Time. Section B meets on Tuesdays and Saturday evenings from 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. The sessions are offered over Zoom, so if you can't make the live sessions, if you feel you might miss several or a few, or you could even do the whole thing in your own pace. I have many people who do sign up for the programs who don't come to the live sessions and do the whole thing on video. That's also fine. You're welcome to do that. So again, if you want to find out more about the online program, please do go visit my website, suchsweetthunder.org. And so I'd like to go ahead and move into a very brief guided meditation. And so I'll ring the bell. I'll invite us to connect to the present moment with this quality of mindfulness. If you're not familiar with mindfulness, mindfulness is the invitation to connect to the present moment free from judgment. Another way to frame that is a way of connecting to the present moment in radical acceptance. I see acceptance as kind of a compassionate flavor and non-judgment as an equanimity kind of flavor, but it's really pointing to the same quality. So we'll be invited to connect to the present moment in this frame of non-judgment and acceptance. And I'll probably kick around a few phrases of joy, and then we'll complete the meditation, and I'll offer quite a detailed talk, I believe. I just have a few pointers that I want to touch. I haven't scripted anything, but I have a feeling we'll take a deep dive. So strap in. Yeah. So if you are not already, I would invite us to get into our most comfortable meditation posture, whatever that means for you. Really, the general instructions around posture are to take a posture that can help us stay awake, that can support our wakefulness and alertness, and also allows us to be relaxed and comfortable at the same time. And you can do this with your eyes open or closed, however you're comfortable. We may do this for maybe 10 minutes or so. So in a few moments' time, I'll ring the sound of the bell, and then I will invite us in. So I'd like to invite us now to really take some moments to connect to the present moment. There are many ways of arriving and connecting to the present moment, and for this practice, let's start with the experience of sound. So we're really invited to become listeners of the present moment, perhaps offering ourselves a phrase like, what does this present moment sound like? There might be quiet sounds or loud sounds. There might be sounds generated by nature, such as bird songs or a dog barking nearby, a conversation unfolding, crickets chirping. Maybe there's rain falling nearby, or wind blowing in the trees. There might be sounds generated by appliances or electronics, some type of machinery like a car or a truck passing by, or the gentle hum of a fan or an air conditioner or a heater. And some of these sounds might feel pleasant and other sounds might feel unpleasant. But regardless of how we interpret the sound, recognizing how sounds are always present moment. And while we're here listening to the present moment experience, see if we can experience the sound free from the label, experiencing the actual texture of the sound. And so you might notice the hum of a fan or an air conditioner. And getting rid of the word air conditioner or fan. And noticing the actual texture of the sound, the actual experience. Meeting the sound as it is, as it arises. And then, perhaps in the next breath or two, I'd like to invite us to gently bring our awareness to the body. Simply noticing the body and how the body is in this present moment. Noticing the areas of ease and softness, the areas that feel comfortable, and equally noticing the areas that feel uncomfortable and tense, strained or painful for some reason. And perhaps offering the question here, can I make friends with these areas of the body that feel tense or stressed? Can I make friends with this? Can I rest with this? Can I rest with this? I'd like to invite us then to notice the breath. And simply noticing how the breath feels. We don't have to change our breath, but just drop into the breath as it's occurring moment to moment. And as we breathe in, we might invite the body to relax. Breathing in, resting. Breathing out, resting. Breathing in, resting. Breathing out, resting. And just allowing the breath to guide us into that quality of calm and tranquility. We'll offer joy to a friend, to a loved one, or a pet, someone we care for. We think of this being and we naturally want them to feel joyful and well. Just taking a moment to invite an image of this being into the mind's eye. You might have more than one being coming into awareness, and that's very normal. But for our practice, it's helpful just to pick one being to work with. You can always come back again and use someone else the next time around. May you enjoy the activities of life itself. May you enjoy things just as they are. May you experience the world taking joy in all that you do. May you know what to do, whatever arises. May you enjoy the activities of life itself. May you enjoy things just as they are. May you experience the world taking joy in all that you do. May you know what to do, whatever arises. And while we're here resting, breathing, noticing any resistances that might be there around the phrases of joy. Resistance is quite normal in this practice. Oftentimes, thoughts can come up, doubts or thoughts of undeservingness. We don't need to figure those out or get rid of them. Just allow them to be there. As we move into offering the phrases of joy to our own heart. If you'd like, you could place a hand over the heart as a way of really inviting the phrases to land. Visualizing or imagining what your life would look and feel like if each phrase was completely reflective of your own life circumstance. May I enjoy the activities of life itself. May I enjoy things just as they are. May I experience the world taking joy in all that I do. May I know what to do, whatever arises. May I enjoy the activities of life itself. May I enjoy things just as they are. May I experience the world taking joy in all that I do. May I know what to do, whatever arises. Just taking a few moments here to continue to settle in with the phrases. Again, there may be resistances that come up. And equally noticing any openings into the quality of joy. This might feel like a kind of warmth around the heart or the abdomen. Maybe a softening in the shoulders or the jaw. Maybe a color arises, yellow or orange or green. Just staying with the warmth of joy. Really inviting that quality of joy to soak into the body, into the nervous system. Taking a few moments to marinate in the warmth, that golden, smiling energy of Oi. In a few moments' time, then, we'll begin to shift away from this guided meditation and back into a conversational space. And I'll cue that by ringing the bell 3 times. If your eyes are closed, you might just gently begin to open them and start to look around, reorienting yourself to your surroundings. Well, thank you for joining me in that guided meditation. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you wish to stay in that longer, you can press pause now if you're watching this on the recording. If you're watching this live, then I'd invite you to go back again to the recording. And like all practices, the more we practice, the more benefit we get, right? So very often with the heart qualities of joy, also kindness, compassion, equanimity, sometimes the quality that arises in this situation, the quality of joy, can be very, very subtle. It can be very mild. Some people often say, yeah, I didn't feel anything in that practice, and that's fine. It's not that you've done it wrong, right? Sometimes when I work with people, they say, oh, I didn't feel joyful. I must not be doing it right. That's not accurate, actually. In those situations, we can know that the seeds of joy are being planted. And eventually those seeds will bear fruit. Right? And it can take a week or two of consistent practice, working with the phrases, whether in meditation or outside in your day-to-day experience, and really getting to know the phrases, spending time with them, and then sometimes those seeds do bear fruit like that. So joy as an abode. So I've listed a couple of different ways of getting into joy, and so I'll just kind of go through them. We'll see how far we get around the time and things like that. But first I want to talk about the very, very traditional frame of joy. And this is known as sympathetic joy or appreciative joy. And this is really the traditional mudita, the traditional quality of joy that's offered in the Buddhist tradition, sympathetic joy. It's the capacity to be able to celebrate the successes of others, free from envy, free from envy. And that can be quite challenging, right? Especially if somebody's success is in the same idiom that I want to succeed in, and maybe they're a little bit further along in their journey than I am, right? Maybe somebody wrote a book on the 4 abodes, and maybe their book is really selling, a bestseller, and I'm, not so much. And then, the practice of joy, the sympathetic joy, is to really be able to celebrate their successes without that quality of envy kind of shrouding over it, right? That's kind of a radical letting go, right? Letting go of ourself, what we think of as ourself and what we think should and shouldn't be happening, right? And just being able to enjoy the success of someone else. There have been some really interesting studies, neurological studies, on this quality of sympathetic joy. And what's extraordinary, at least I find it extraordinary, is that our nervous system lights up in the same way is if so the studies were done people playing chess, and so the winner of the chess game, their nervous system lit up, the reward centers of their brain lit up in a particular pattern. And if the person they defeated in that chess game, if they were able to celebrate the winner's success, their nervous system lit up in the same degree, the same intensity, the same pattern as the person who won. Right? So that's really a long-winded way of saying that if we can celebrate the fact that we're playing the game to the same intensity as the one who wins, we're getting just as much benefit from the game as if we won the game. And this it becomes quite obvious for me because I sometimes go to my brother's house, his family's house, and they're big sports fans. I never watch football or baseball or anything like that, but when I'm at my brother's house, the football game's always on, or the baseball game is on, and I don't really care who wins, right? So it's great because then I can celebrate every touchdown, every home run, every strikeout, right? It becomes a victory for me. Doesn't matter who's winning or who's losing, right? I'm celebrating the art of the game. And in a way, that's a much more advantageous place to be, right? Because I'm twice as likely to to win, because both teams are both winners, right, in that way. So that's the practice of sympathetic joy, the practice of celebrating the successes of others, putting our own wishes aside, what we'd hope to be, and really celebrating the process. That's mudita. It's a very powerful practice. The Dalai Lama calls that enlightened self-interest, right? Because there's always somebody celebrating something somewhere, right? And so when we can really tap into that and bring that into our awareness and spend time really contemplating the successes of others and drawing nourishment from that, the well is always full, right? The well never runs dry. So that's a little bit about mudita, sympathetic joy. I also want to talk about joy as kind of the balancing quality to compassion. It's often said that compassion is the trembling of the heart in the face of struggle. Right? And so we know that when we are in a situation where we're with somebody who's suffering, we're with somebody who's struggling, and we can let go of our idea of what should and shouldn't be in that situation, the heart starts to tremble. And we move forward in that trembling of the heart to alleviate the discomfort of the other. That's compassionate action. And I'd invite you to explore this if we are in a situation where we're presented with something beautiful, something lovely, a flower, a beautiful song, a poem, or out in nature with flowers or a lake, or listening to the rainfall. And we can let our thoughts subside in those moments. The heart trembles very similarly to the way the heart trembles in the face of despair. The heart trembles in the face of what's lovely. And so I'm exploring this now, and I'd invite you to explore this now too. If you can, just bring into awareness something lovely. The image of a flower, the image of a dog or a cat that you love and care for, the image of a lake or a rainbow. Letting go of any concepts of ideas of what should and shouldn't be, and just being with that image. And the heart starts to tremble. can be very subtle, very mild. And sometimes that hindrance of doubt can come up. Was that it? I'm not sure if that was it. Maybe that's not it. This is a silly practice. I think I'll go do something else. Right? That can happen. And that's okay. You can just let those thoughts go and return back. And notice the trembling of the heart that's there. That's joy. That's that innate quality of joy. I say innate, that's innate to all human heart. All human heart. And so that's another way of connecting to that quality of joy, that letting go of what we think should and shouldn't be, and just being in the face of what's beautiful or what's lovely. You know, if you have a partner and you reach out to hold their hand or look into their eye, and letting go of anything else in that moment and just looking, just being with that person. It doesn't have to be a partner, it could be a good friend or a family member. Just sharing that space with that somebody, that silent space. Trembling of the heart. And also there is a doorway into this quality of joy by simply letting concepts go. I've spoken a little bit about that around sympathetic joy and around that trembling of the heart in the face of what's lovely, right? We're invited to let go of any concepts. And so here's where the practice of mindfulness comes in, right? Because that is the practice of mindfulness, is letting go of our concepts and coming back to the actual experience free from judgment, right? And so, you know, our brain, our mind is a concept-making machine, right? We're constantly going through our life through kind of an overlay of concept, an overlay of thought, right? We see a tree and we just say tree, right? And then that thing becomes the object tree. Right? Or we look at a lake and we think to ourselves, oh, it's a beautiful lake. It's frozen into a concept, lake. Right? And we do this with people too, right? If you're like me and you work with people, you have clients that you visit with. Do we see them as clients? Do we see them as human beings? Or do we just experience the life that's in front of us, free from concept? Right? And the reason why I'm inviting us to explore this, and we did a little bit in the meditation, right? You might recall with sound. Can we hear the sound free from the word? A car drives by. Can we notice the texture of the sound free from the word car? And when we can connect to our experience of the present moment in this way, there's joy there. It can be very subtle. And this is the process of creating a transition going from the mundane to the sublime. Right? We're going from the mundane world of concepts to the divinity of the present moment. The divine, the beauty, the sublime experience of this present moment, free from concepts. And this can take some practice. You know, you can do it in meditation the way we just explored, or you can do it when you're going for a walk in nature. What's it like to experience that lake just the texture, just the images that land, free from any words, right? Or you look at a flower and you just hold the flower in front of you. You let the words, the concepts drop away, and you're there with that bare experience, that naked experience of the present moment. And then thoughts will come, right? If the flower is yellow, oh, that's the same color that my friend wore to prom 30 years ago. I wonder what she's doing these days. I haven't talked to her since college. Wow, it'd be really nice to reconnect to that person. Oh yeah, that person, does she really like that kind of music? I don't like that kind of music anymore. Well, tastes change, you know. And, oh, right, then I'm thinking, right? I'm lost in this concept. I'm lost in that train of thought. I'm not even seeing the flower anymore. And then we say thinking, thinking, we let those thoughts go and we come back to the actual experience of what's in front of us. Right? And that's normal, right? That proliferating train of thought is not a mistake. It's not that we've done something wrong, right? That's how our minds are. And we can take joy in that process, right? May I enjoy the activities of life itself. The activities of life's unfolding free from that overlay of concept. It's so rich. It's such a rich terrain. Yeah. And then one more I'll speak to here. Taking joy in the miracle of life itself. Just the fact that I'm here is extraordinary. And just the fact that you're there, right? That life has arranged the causes and conditions in such a way that have allowed me to be sitting here speaking to you all. And if any one of those causes and conditions were slightly different, all going all the way back to the beginning of time till now, I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be there. Right? The millions and millions and millions of causes and conditions going back from, my parents meeting and their parents meeting, going back to, the causes and conditions that led, my ancestors to migrate from across Europe into America, and going back all the way back, that my 200,000 years ago, my cave ancestors that must have been good hunters and gatherers, better than some others, so that they got their genes into the next generation and so forth. It's just a miracle. It's just extraordinary. And all of this is happening on this little tiny planet in the backwaters of the Milky Way, in this galaxy, expanding out throughout the universe, millions and millions and millions and millions of possibilities and potentials, and we're here. It's just extraordinary. And so for me, there's quite a bit of joy in that. I love that. Right? The idea that, wow. We get so hung up on the trials and tribulations of the day, the dramas of the day. Right? And we forget that it's just a miracle that any of these dramas can unfold at all. Wow. So I think I'll draw our time together to a close here. I hope that was helpful for some and inspiring, perhaps. I feel inspired. And I will be back. I'm not sure when. Let's make a time now. Let's see. What day is today? Sunday. Let's say I'll be back on Thursday. I'll be back on Thursday the 19th sometime in the morning. But keep a lookout for my advertisements. That'll tell you when I'm coming back. Be great to see you all on the retreat. So if you haven't registered already, things are filling up. So I do recommend reaching out and going ahead and signing up. If you have any questions you'd like to talk about the retreat, please do reach out. I'm happy to give any information that you might find helpful if I can. Other than that, have a great rest of the weekend and week ahead, and I'll look forward to seeing you all here or there somewhere. And I'll ring the bell to close us out.